happening right now, Shaitan?
Yes, over the weekend, some of South Africa's biggest stars arrived in Johannesburg for the premiere of Ferguson Films and Netflix's Kings of Joburg. Now, the film, which had its first season in 2020, will return for season 2 on Netflix on January 27th. The series has a number of well-known actors such as Connie Ferguson, TK Sebotoma, Zolila Nklofaslo, those names are very hard to pronounce, Cindy Malangalu, Lunati Mampofu, Bule Samuels, and of course, Nollywood star Eyinna Nwigwe.
You don't have to be afraid anymore. Simon. Josie is no king. Boys and girls, let's go! The Masira is still around the city. Make sure we remind everybody.
That looked intense. Well, joining us now on the show is star actor, flyboy, Eyinna Nwigwe. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
It's amazing to have you in
Always
house. I know that you are a very busy person, so thank you for joining us on Arise 360.
Big fan of the show.
Thank you.
I learn about the world of film through the show.
Thank you. You see, we try our best.
You do so well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I want us to go straight into this. Now, just watching that trailer, you could see so many elements. There's action and there's a bit of drama. There's mystery. There's adventure. There's supernatural, which I personally love to see in any series or movies. Now, coming from such a huge turnout for the first season and being casted as part of the second season, what does that mean for you as an actor?
Well, it takes me a few notches closer to what I see that you can do from the point of the continent as against the niche spaces, Nollywood, South African wood, Galleywood. I feel like we're stronger, all the woods. I feel like we're a stronger force, the strength in numbers going to the world with the cocktail that we are as Africa with all the tribal differences. Nigeria alone has its own beauty with our diversity. Now imagine layering that with other African, cultures, their following, their audiences. Like South Africa is a very niche space. They watch their content. We watch our content, but we are traveled, so we influence other cultures.
Yes,
so imagine collapsing all that together, and presenting it to the world. Especially now that we share common platforms with the world. Definitely. So I've always been a campaigner for United Front for African cinema. Definitely. So it's pretty much like my 4th or 5th project in South Africa. I've done quite a few across the continent as well. And this just brings it together because it's Netflix and it's top-notch level. It's like Hollywood, but in Africa. I always say Hollywood used to be a destination. Now it's a level of execution. Yes. So wherever you are, it's the standard that matters, not going to Hollywood. Hollywood can be anywhere now.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. So basically now, that explains why I've been wondering, like, where Badamasi, where did he go after? Like, you've been in SA, and you've been busy filming. You left us. But either way, I want us to talk about what you mentioned, which is so significant, the woods. We have our Nollywood. South Africa has a thriving entertainment space as well. Same as Nigeria, same as Ghana, same as various African countries. But why do you think there's this seclusion, like everybody's just doing their own thing? SA is great, but SA has, even on Netflix, we have shows that, okay, this is SA, this is Nigeria. What you're doing is going into another industry and you're thriving there. Why don't we have more of that happening?
Well, like I said, it's a conversation I have. I do the festivals. I have forums where I speak. Yeah. I always push that agenda. But the thing is, human nature, we like familiarity. Okay. If we compare South Africa to Nigeria, like I said, we are more traveled. That's because we don't have a middle class. So we're constantly seeking greener pastures. So if we have 200 million people in Nigeria, we probably have 200 million or more spread across the world. South Africa has a middle class. They're not so traveled. They are good where they are. They have, everybody complains, but they are good. I've been there long enough, worked there around, I understand. The certain places that you go to eat in Nigeria, you're either upper class or you can't afford it. In South Africa, the middle class will walk in. The person you saw at the front desk at the Nike store is eating in the same restaurant
As the big guys.
As the big guys.
Yeah.
So you can tell that the spending power for the middle class is there, and for that reason, they don't see greener pastures as much as we do. So you think about the pattern of behavior and thinking of the people, and you realize it's that thing. The Nigerian energy is unique in its own sense, so we know how to deal with our intensity, our chaoticness. South Africans are used to their own thing. They're more comfortable around themselves. Everyone is more comfortable, but the media has the power to change that narrative, and film is one thing that, has that power to shift and shape perception. So the more I am in the film in South Africa, sharing the screen with their actors, the more their people are familiar with me. At some point, they'll forget I'm Nigerian. And the same way my followers and audience in Nigeria, it's me sharing the screen with Zolisa and the rest of them, will over time get used to their accent because they're watching me. So there's a subliminal change before you know it.
We just need more of it.
So it's like you go to South African film, it's like the accent takes a while to get used to. But because you're watching me, it starts to get into you, slowly, and it becomes normal.
Yeah, it sounds easier.
It's interesting that I look at Nigerians as people who they've suffered so much, so they are just looking for somewhere to go, and once we are put in an enabling environment, Nigerians always seem to thrive.
And while we're there, we are influencing the culture.
Exactly.
So now Black Americans love, everyone that is Black around the world wants to be Nigerian.
Exactly.
And that's our music, that's our film, that's our culture, it's our food.
Our art, everything.
It's our art that has sold us that way. And the world has embraced us, so we can leverage more of the continent. I'm all for let's all win than let's isolate ourselves because we're Nigerian.
Definitely.
There's a lot more we can do as a team.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next question, because I'm talking about you obviously you as a Nigerian being in this. You've done other projects, of course, in South Africa, but just looking at the trailer and looking at the cast, and of course even the the producers of the movie, we can tell, of the series rather, that this in itself is a larger than life project. Can you tell me about the experience, you being outside of Nigeria? What were the differences? What were the little nuances that are different while filming in South Africa as opposed to filming major blockbuster movies here in Nigeria?
Well, of South Africa, I'll start with, from my own perspective, from my own experience. You get on set, you're put in a trailer. Your trailer has already the drinks you've listed that you like, non-alcoholic while filming. It's got food, it's got fridge with fruits and everything. It's got all your costume lined up. It's got an air conditioner. If it gets hot, if it's cold, you got a heater. You have your bed, you have your couch, your TV. So when you're not on set, you're comfortable. Yeah. So wherever it is, the location is, you don't have to hang about waiting outside, hanging in one room where there's no light. So you're constantly focused on your work, and when you're not working, you're resting proper. Secondly, the 12-hour turnaround time is completely, adhered to because their guilds and unions work. Yeah. So if 2 p.m. is lunch, nobody touches anything after 2 p.m. and it's a collective thing. So it's not like the producer wants you to work, but you're saying, oh, you do know it's 2 o'clock, we have to eat. Then the producer will be like, I will not hire you again. No, nobody. It's not. You don't work on Sundays, and if you must, there is a pay for that. So everything is handled by the union. So there's no rancor about, oh, that sound man is rude. He could not even push the bar till 11, 12 when we don't have a location tomorrow. So everything is just laid out, clean, and followed through to the T. And they don't work you beyond 12 hours.
So do you think the responsibility is on the film unions or movie unions in Nigeria to be the ones to cater for, welfare for actors, film crew, cast?
Absolutely. And it's like a labor union. You protect them with your screen time. There's certain things that are fixed that you don't have to have issues like, oh, you think you can charge this amount, I won't call you for work again, I'll call somebody else. No, when you grow at your work, you earn what you deserve because you're talking to agents and managers, not the actor. Again, you don't have any interaction with the actor except the director when you're on set. So all those things are divided and everybody focuses on their own expertise as against being your own manager, being the one to manage how you're perceived on set, being the one to manage every talent. No, when we're not working, we're in our trailers. Yeah. Keeping our heads cool for when we get called on set. So, and that thing is beyond Nollywood, it's a Nigerian thing. When we look at it, we do mediocrity over excellence, we do nepotism over merit. Yeah. So with that kind of chaos, which we have gotten used to, so we are like in a toxic relationship. We are in a toxic relationship with our country. Oh, so it trickles down to everything. We would have a smart VP that will never be president. Everything is just like that. Yeah. You know, and
But you know what I sense from this conversation, because this just speaks to how you were talking about how Nigerians are just so used to suffering. I mean, 80% of these people who on sets have to overdo. It's realistically because you're scared of being blackballed in the industry. So
and nobody to protect
and no
you.
one is going to protect you. So you're literally just trying to work for your daily bread. You're doing your job, but aside from doing your job, you literally have to serve somebody beyond what you're doing.
No matter how good you are.
No matter how good you are.
If you feel like you're a bit too haughty, or feel like you think you're all that, they'll hire someone who's not as good, and that's mediocrity over excellence.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to pay someone that you're demanding what you want. A whole organization will send you a contract. You, as a small fry, cannot question the clause.
You can't.
If not, you're a diva. So everything is just like that.
Yeah.
But why did you send me a
tells
contract?
me?
I'm small to you. Why can't I question what you put there?
Yeah. It tells me, Eyinna, one word, and I think that's the one word that everyone in this room can relate to: growth.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, while everyone who's coming up can say, everyone has had to go through that period, but you can definitely say that you're at a point in your career now where it's like, yeah, this is what I'm getting now. So growth is the most inevitable factor in this industry. But now, big man, let's talk about the fact that it's coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
Congratulations. Kings of Joburg season 2 will be out.
Yeah.
So it's on Netflix. What do we need to expect off of this one?
It's a lot of intensity. It's a lot of action. Yeah, you have a lot more cartels across the races, not just the black guys anymore that are street kings of Joburg. Now you have the white guys coming too for a piece of the pie. And for my character, I got introduced in the 6th episode. There were 6 episodes for the first season and 8 for the second. So I got introduced at the 6th episode, right? So I had been in prison. Of course, I used to be the boyfriend to the lead actress, who happens to be a mole in the organization trying to take the street kings down.
Okay.
So I got introduced coming to get my pound of flesh, and get into the fray of things. Yeah. So people should see, people who haven't seen should see season 1 first if you have time today before 2, so that you understand how 2 goes. It's hard to get into 2 because of what happened with my character in the end. So there's a little bit of let's see what happens from there.
You could go on your story on your Instagram, because even just before we went on,
there
was there's a 3-4 minute summary of what happened in season 1.
That's
if
true.
you cannot wait and you want to watch
exactly.
season 2, you could do that. But I would always advise anybody to go and watch season 1 from beginning.
It's such a
it's
good
a lot
project.
easier. But Eyinna, this has been epic as usual.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining us on the show,
you for
and
having me
congratulations
always. Thank you.
again on this big deal.